On this episode of Big Movie Mouth Off, it's just simply marvelous. Well, welcome to another episode of Big Movie Mouth Off. I'm your host, Jimmy Martin. Well, we've got a group here. You want to just go down the line and say where you're from?
I'm Shannon Barnson from the Geek Show podcast, man.
I guess I'm next. Hi, Kerry Jackson, spell it right, please. X96 Radio from Hell program and Geek Show podcast.
I'm Jeff Counts. I'm from here. This is all I've got.
This is all you do.
Just this. I live here.
There you go. Yeah, it's a cot in the back.
Yeah.
So
There is?
Yeah.
Great. I got a promotion.
He's got a cot now.
Why have you assembled us, Jimmy?
Well, this episode it's only the Avengers, the Age of Ultron.
And it's going to be 53 minutes long.
Yes, it'll be 10 minutes longer than the movie. Basically, the story is, well, we kind of catch up, hit the ground running.
And flying.
And flying. Oh, look at you.
And jumping.
And the story is that Tony Stark has come across some technology that he believes can finish a project that he had started with Bruce Banner called the Ultron Project. Basically, it's putting a bodyguard where, an AI, artificial intelligence.
I think Tony was saying something along the lines of, don't we get to take a vacation?
Yeah.
You know, we're always saving the world. Wouldn't it be nice if we could take a vacation?
And so, and what he wants to create is this, self-aware kind of robot that can protect. He says something like, the next time aliens come through the sky, they won't get past the bouncer. And so basically that's kind of the gist of it. Well,
says he wants to put a suit in every country in the world.
Yep. Yeah. And whether Captain America and everybody else agrees with this or not, well, he's going to do it anyway because he doesn't really care to have the Democratic vote.
Not Tony.
No. So what we get out of Ultron is actually nothing good in the sense of James Spader voicing a brooding robot that basically decides that the way that Earth can survive is to erase humanity. And so
really, we're causing all the problems. I mean, he's not wrong.
We're that virus that gets mentioned in the Matrix.
Yeah.
And Ultron knows it.
Yes.
So what happens is basically Spader's character Ultron goes off on his own, recruits two new characters played by Elizabeth Olsen and Aaron Taylor Johnson. That's Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch, the twins who basically have their own. We can't say mutants, but mutants. Yeah. And so gets them on their team. And then kind of all hell breaks loose in the sense of what Ultron wants to do is basically just destroy everything. And in this process, wants to create a body for himself. And one way or the other, that kind of leads us to another character. Mm-hmm. Should we say who it is? It's kind of on the posters.
It's on the posters. It's on the Slurpee cups.
It's the Vision.
The Vision.
Yes.
Can I say, there's so much going on in this movie.
Really?
Like, there's so much going on in this movie that I actually sat there halfway through, and I was like, oh yeah, the Vision's gonna be in this too.
Yeah, right.
Like I totally forgot.
Yeah.
There's a lot of story to get in the way of the plot of this movie.
I heard it described as it is the most bloated film that does not feel bloated.
Yeah.
Because they do put a lot in there, and it seems like an awful lot to digest, but Joss Whedon weaves the story just fine. I mean, he gets you through it.
Well, if anybody director can do that, it is Joss Whedon. The guy knows how to handle an ensemble cast and a lot of things going on. Whether or not it's going to kill him in the process.
Yeah.
I think it will eventually.
This movie does feel like a can of biscuits, though. Like, if you press on it too hard, it's just going to burst. Because there's so much in there. And Scott and I were talking before we started, and I think that's one of the great feats of directing in the film, that he keeps all those plates spinning.
Yeah.
I mean, he really doesn't lose you at any point.
I have heard people say that there is too much going on. And and when you guys saw it with me, that was the second time I'd seen it, and I disagree. There is a lot going on.
I think that easily could have been the issue.
Sure.
But he didn't let it.
I think he walks a very, a tightrope and does not fall on either side and gets to the other side with those plates spinning.
How do you guys respond to this then? I maintain that you need to have seen most of the Marvel movies leading up to this. And I'm talking just the Marvel Studios movies starting with Iron Man, to catch a lot of the stuff that's referenced and is going on.
I think not only should you see the Marvel movies, I think if you're watching S.H.I.E.L.D.,
You got to get caught up.
I think it even...
It helps.
They have, when I read stories, kind of, we were talking about this earlier, like the Edgar Wright, like going to do Ant-Man and he got kicked out. Yeah. And, whether it was mutual or not. But I think it's because Marvel's like, we have a vision. And we know our end game, and so if you're not on board with that, then we don't need you. I think they see it. So I think that every piece does connect. I mean, I think everybody knows. Well, they've announced it that the Infinity War is coming. So I think to know where all the gems are coming from, you know, you have to have seen Thor 2. You've had to have seen Guardians. You've had to have seen, you know, first Avengers. Like
That's right.
It does make sense to see it better. I mean, can you still enjoy it? Yeah, there's explosions and a Hulkbuster.
Yeah. Well, and I was gonna say people that complain about too much going on in this movie. It's as a lifelong comic book reader, right? This is kind of like their event, right? Like, you know, when you have your event series, like in Marvel Comics.
Yeah.
There, it's 12 issues, and there's a lot of stuff going on.
They throw a lot
right?
at you, a lot of characters, and a lot of story.
So it's like their event comic, right? And then you have your little standalones, their little solo films.
Yeah.
Well, they're never really little, but you know. But then you have your Avengers movie, and it's, you know, that year's Secret Wars or whatever.
Now, we're talking a lot about the bloat, but there's an awful lot going on. Each character is given a moment, sometimes several moments, to develop, and we learn more about each character. It's not just, you know, throwing and flying and punching.
Yeah.
There's a nice little love story in there. There's things that we learn about one of the characters. I'm not going to say that
It was surprising.
you had no idea.
Yeah.
I said this, I went, what?
Well, I think in exploring the characters too, you know, they talk a lot about being monsters. You know, obviously Hulk monster, but then, you know, you learn more about Scarlet Witch's history and, you know, where she came from and the school she went to become who she is. And like, no, she's got demons too, you know. And then same thing with I think even Stark says it to Banner. He's like, we're mad scientists, we're monsters, you know, for what we do, but this is what we are, you know. I think it's great that they explore that darker side of each character. You know, these people, while they are saving the day, are they doing it in the correct manner? You know, I think Whedon makes you question that. You know, are we better off with or without them?
I think it's interesting you mentioned Scarlet Witch. I thought you were going to say Scarlett Johansson because I felt like Scarlet Witch's character was pretty underrepresented in terms of backstory and in terms of development. I thought, in fact, her and Quicksilver, I don't know that they lived up to the sort of power and stature of the rest of the cast.
They didn't get served as well in this one, but I think they will be in Civil War.
I hope you're right because the Vision, he leaps onto the screen fully formed. I mean, you buy it, you're in. It's so, that moment is so incredible.
So awesome.
Yeah.
The characters that really we get a lot from are certainly Black Widow. We learn an awful lot about her past and all of that. We get an awful lot of Banner.
Yeah.
In this one, we get some good Banner development going on here.
Yeah.
You know, I'm the biggest Hulk fan in the room, and it was all so good. I felt so bad for him at the end.
You do, don't you?
He looked so sad.
And
It's
then
like Pete's Dragon sad.
And Pete's Dragon color.
Yeah.
and then another Hawkeye.
Yeah.
Hawkeye was great.
Hawkeye gets to shine in this.
I believe that Hawkeye is the heart and soul of this movie.
Yeah.
I mean, your big stars are Iron Man, Thor, and Captain America.
Sure.
But this movie really services these three characters.
Yeah, it gets well, and I think it's, you know, publicly Renner said like he wasn't too happy with what he got to do in the first Avengers, and there's a great line in there too because the whole mind control thing, and then when Scarlet Witch comes up to him and tries to tap him on the head, and he's like, "Yeah, I've done the whole mind control thing. I'm not a fan of it." You know, so no, I think that those characters do get more screen time. I think it's great.
I think you could have done more with the two new ones though.
I just think
It felt like the director's cut, the Scarlet Witch cut.
But I mean, in terms of upping the game from the last one, I think Whedon did it perfectly. I think you know, I mean, the scene between Tony Stark in a Hulkbuster outfit and Hulk, you get those moments. You get that. What do you say in the first one? The puny god. You get your puny god moments. You know. So
over and over again.
Oh, there's so many. You're right.
Well, I mean,
so many.
the movie hits the ground running with a fully formed team that has obviously been working together for a very long time. They know each other's, you know, quirks, and you know, he's going to do this, and you're going to do this.
They got some combos.
Yeah, exactly. Combos. Perfect way to put it. Combos.
Yeah.
They hit the ground running, and I'll tell you, right when that first, you know, the Avengers came up after that opening scene, that opening action sequence, I was going to turn to you. We were sitting right next to each other.
Yeah.
I was going to turn to you and say, "I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm completely satisfied now." But no, there's more. You know?
And the more that I also want to get mentioned in here is Spader.
Yeah.
I think because you're looking at this, you know, it could be, and he said in the interview with him, he said it could have just been this brooding robot, kill all humans like that. but it's not. I mean, you put a little fedora on Ultron, and he's Red Reddington.
Yeah.
Well, the motion capture, you can see in the close-ups with Ultron, you can see Spader's mannerisms.
Yep.
I mean,
absolutely.
Or
He
just
does-
even the way he walks.
yeah. Well, I mean, he does this head cock thing. If you watch The Blacklist, you see it. He does this head cock, and then he does this thing.
Yeah.
Ultron does the lip smack. I mean, I was looking up there, just going, he did the Spader lip smack.
Yeah.
You know.
And that's the thing, and it's not, like I said, it's not kill all human robot. I mean, it is, but I mean, he's sitting there having conversations and making jokes and like and being what I called quippy. I mean, like he's extremely
but he's
quippy.
also super scary.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
for sure.
So-
Very effective as a villain.
You know what? I think it's the best Marvel villain so far, even over Loki.
That's a complaint that a lot of people have about the Marvel films is that their villains, besides Loki, kind of weak. And I don't know if that's an argument or not, but certainly since Loki, this is a villain that stands out.
Yeah. Obviously, I think we're all going in the same direction here.
What's that, Jimmy?
I loved it. I'm at 4 stars. You know, I think it's for Whedon to be able to pull this off, and like I said, I think it's going to kill him if he did it again. Is incredible. And I mean, think about when we saw the first Avengers. It was something we'd never seen on cinema before.
That's why I got my tattoo. I have the Avengers logo here because I thought they pulled it off. They did it.
Yeah, and so for him to be able to one up himself and do it again, that's where he's not doing Infinity War, and the Russo brothers are. They've got a big shoe to fill, because
But how big is that going to have to be? Well, first of all, it has to be 2 movies,
2 parts,
Yeah.
yes.
Oh yeah.
and it's going to be insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that there's 2 of them because when you hear the stories, I mean, you interviewed Whedon.
Yeah.
You hear the stories about how tough it was to juggle all of these balls at the same time.
Yeah.
2 guys for those 2 big films is going to be necessary, I think. And
So-
but the Russo brothers, what they did with Winter Soldier,
Oh man.
terrific.
So I'm at 4 stars. I don't know where you guys are
If
going.
we're doing stars, 4,
Yeah.
absolutely.
4 stars. I mean, I was not a comic book guy. My love for Marvel comes from the MCU, fully and only.
Yeah.
And I'm all in. And I'm the kind of guy that, I hear from you, oh, the Vision's going to be in this movie. And I'm like, Vision?
I don't know.
But I can't be more all in. 4 stars.
Yeah.
Oh, 1.
Out of
4 stars.
Out
I
of
got
1.
you guys. 4.
There you go. My hat's off to Whedon and everybody involved in this. I think it's, I'm ready. I think I'll end it with this, that I agree with Kerry. I feel bad for Ant-Man.
Ant-Man.
I'm a little concerned about Ant-Man.
I'm excited.
I want it to
Oh,
succeed.
I hadn't
do.
thought about that, but you're
But
right.
look at the shoes. I mean, look what it's following. Ant-Man's in 2 months.
Yeah.
After
And
this.
they're ant shoes. How much can you put in them?
So you guys, it's once again, it's a totally different kind of film.
That
It's
is. It is.
It's like a comedic
It's a heist.
paper
Yeah.
heist film. So.
It has to hope for Guardians level kind of,
Yeah.
success.
You didn't expect it.
Right.
Here it comes.
Exactly.
I-
Jimmy, is this the first 16-star movie?
I think it's a 16-star movie. But
Well, that's even more than Furious 7.
yeah. The 7 got 7 stars?
Yeah, I got 7 stars.
So there you have it, 4 stars all around. I don't think it was too shocking amongst us geeks, but
Yeah.
that'll do it for this episode of Big Movie Mouth Off, and we will catch you next time.